Alright, here we go. We have a 1v1 ranked match on Duel between the blue side, the upper left-hand player, Pekapeka in the standard bomber, and the bottom right-hand team, or the bottom right-hand side, the red player, ISRAELITE in the Star Neo. And ISRAELITE, it was the one that sent in this replay. A big thanks to ISRAELITE for sending me this replay. Pekka and, oh, we do have a Jetpack Cat on ISRAELITE. Holla to Jetpack Cat. So Duel now is actually probably considered, I would say most people consider Duel the most balanced map out of all the maps, just because it is 100% symmetrical. Maybe Nestthorn. Nestthorn is also pretty symmetrical. There is absolutely no unevenness to it, and Duel, a lot of people do consider Duel to be extremely competitive. A lot of people don't like that Duel has no difference in elevations, but you know, it's not that big of a deal to me, and a lot of people don't mind it either. But you know, this game is actually completely 3D. Rendered completely in 3D, so not using that aspect is a little bit disheartening, but you know, not a big deal. Pekka deciding to go with defending his outposts rather than you know, pushing harder for mid. Israel is deciding to put artillery firing into this area, firing into mid, and that is actually probably considered the safer way to go. Pekka trying to get this moneymaker out, but Israel does pick it up before he gets it, and Pekka forced retreat. Israel will not be able to pursue and get that kill, but he is ahead slightly, going for this mid. Only one artillery finally going down for Pekka, but Israel has gotten a lot more units killed on his side of the middle outpost, of the middle power station. This is a power station. I sometimes forget every once in a while, but yes, the middle on Duel is a power station. And ISRAELITE is still a little bit ahead. Pekka has not pushed that many units at all. He is sitting on a little bit more credits than Israel is. He does have 9,000. He is deciding to make a T99, going for the more defensive play here. Pekka is. I guess what a lot of people do, sometimes actually, not a lot, is wait for the middle of you know, especially Duel, which is accessible from both sides directly, not like Chasm, but waiting for the middle on Duel, because the path is much shorter than a map like Nestthorn from your closest outpost to mid. You're waiting for, I'm just saying this one more time, you wait for the enemy to clear out all the neutrals and maybe start to take it a little bit, and then push your units in. But Pekka is actually still spamming T99s, does not have much of a moving army, so he really is choosing the defensive play over you know, trying to take more of an aggressive stance on this match. Now starting to put T99s down, and it does go under fire from the artillery, the neutral artillery. Duel was patched shortly after FedComp's mini-tourney. The devs were asked, or I guess quickly requested by the majority of the community, to hold off on that patch until FedComp's tourney was over, and now it sent, and right after it was patched. And Duel, ever since then, has had a much different neutral concentration on the sides. Before it was what were they called? Gorgons? Yes, Gorgons. There were Goliaths, and there were, I think, Geminis? I don't really remember. But regardless, it was really hard. Oh, and Israel does take down Pekapeka there. But anyway, it was really hard to do any kinds of flybys with, like, there were like 3 Gorgons in the area, and you couldn't fly by at all without your opponent seeing you. But ever since then, not anymore. There are only artillery and Goliaths there, just to simply prevent you from progressing, kind of like pushing your units through that lane. And now Pekka forced to bring his units back. They were very much under fire from this entire clump of artillery were firing over in there. I think they did kill 1 unit, but the T99 is so durable, and the artillery recently have had, with this current patch, have had a slight power nerf, power as in DPS. They do not attack for as much. I think the figure was 10% less than they typically do. And now they also take up what's it called? I think they take a little more power. I'm not sure. If they don't, they probably should. But right now, as of now, I know that they do take, they do 10% less DPS than they used to. That was to balance the new mechanic of accuracy being changed. against this artillery. And pekapeka staying again way too long in that area. Once Israelite started firing at him, or once he saw Israelite, to be honest, he probably should have gotten right out of there. Israel now bringing Armadillo, getting them actually just killed straight up. There are there are 2 T-99s and 2 Longhorn firing into this cluster, and Israelite is literally feeding Pekka experience just by dropping Armadillo in there, and it's not really getting anywhere. So attacking them isn't really, dropping them in that area really isn't doing much for him. Almost doesn't really get that. That was more of a controlled bombing run by Pekka there. But Israelite once again dropping a single unit over here is just going to get it killed. Doesn't really get anywhere. Doesn't really put enough damage down on those other blue units to really justify dropping that Dillo. You really need to drop, not really drop, but really he could have just kind of taken these and maybe set them on attack, or not attack, but capture, and he could have had a lot more Dillos in that area much quicker. Pekka doing more bombing, and Israel does drop Dillos. Oh, he did drop one single Dillo again with a single Dillo. It is heavily under fire. Pekka is doing a great job with his corner defense, and every time he dropped, Israel drops a tank or any kind of unit next to any of the outposts that is controlled by Pekka here, or this forward also, they do die pretty much immediately, because every single unit of Pekka in that area defending is directly firing straight on to the units that Israelite is dropping. That is one great way to defend with that corner defend. I use it all the time when I play. Whenever I play with other people who aren't really aware of that method, I kind of reposition all their units just because I have a little bit of OCD with that defense, the defense type. But yes, now once again this battle has converted to this area, and actually this outpost was taken by Pekka. I'm not really sure when that happened. It might have just happened due to creeps leaking in, but Pekka does go down again to Israelite. But he does have a lot of Dillos in his area. Pekka was able to drop a lot over there, and yeah, now Israelite is cleaning it up, will be able to finish, but pretty much all the other attacking units are dead for Israelite over here, just because, well, not just because, but there was this artillery firing, and I think, I could have sworn there was one more. Pekka now coming back to battle, he is respawning, and he is going straight for this outpost that was taken. I don't know how Israelite kind of missed that. I missed that, but he was the one, really concentrated on advancing, and Pekka again bombing, staying over this Seeker, but this time it is very safe because he's right next to his outpost, and Israel is trying to kill as many as he can here, doing some EMPs and affecting the fire rate of these Dillos, but is not really going to be able to finish off everything unless Pekka doesn't micro anything. He was trying to bomb most of the time. He does have 3 Dillos left in this area, but Israelite has repositioned all of his artillery over here to face this side now. It's kind of a funny situation with Israelite owning mid, but Pekka having this outpost and this outpost here, and now Israel is forced to just try to shoot in. There's not much he can do right now. There are artillery firing in, but Pekka has moved his Armadillo to the other side of the outpost, and now Pekka switching his focus to this side of the to the left factory from mid, and is bringing Dillos over, but those Dillos are also under, well, actually not really under heavy fire. Now Pekka has to, or now Israel has to divert his attention between 2 lines of battle, and actually Israelite does, and Pekka only has to kind of concentrate on getting units to mid as fast as he possibly can. Israel is really trying hard to deal with this, does lose control of mid, but takes Pekka down in that exchange, and now with this opportunity, he can probably take back mid. If not, he'll be able to mostly take all, the majority of Pekka's units down over here, so he will eventually be able to take mid. But that secret does go down. Israel really needs to start shifting his, he has 2 Berthas here, one firing over here, yes, but the other one is pointed over here. He really needed to micro his units a little bit better in that case, and now Pekka bringing 2 more Armadillos over here. I think they're probably going to go down to the majority of the units over here. There are 4 Dillos firing over there, and Israel is here to support. Pekka bringing back 2 more, but it's pretty much the exact same story as the first 2 he brought, because he doesn't have support of his other 2. But, oh, actually, he did send some Dillos over here to, I think he just set them on attack. And they are going to be here now supporting Pekka. And Israel taking down Pekka again. Pekka really needs to start moving around, especially against the Neo. It's really, really dangerous to stick where you are. And Israel doing his best trying to take these Armadillo down, but he is shooting them from the front. Really needs to start shooting them from the back, but you know, uses that EMP to his advantage and does take those down. But this outpost is blue. Now Israelite really, really needs to start pushing it. He doesn't have any more units over here. It just has these creeps and those 2 Bertha, which will be probably quickly taken down, or at least, you know, heavily damaged by pekapeka. Israel almost gets that EMP off, but not enough, not in time. But Pekka once again tries to dogfight without moving and almost gets taken down by Israel. It's so close, but you know, that's really not what you need to do. If you're going to be a bomber and bomb, especially against a Neo, you really need to move around. This Neo is going to just eat you up, and just like that, if you stay in the air too long, you really have to take watch, you know, pay attention of your health, to your health, and especially if you're just sitting still. If you're sitting still really doing nothing, you really have to keep an eye on your health, or else you will get shot out of the sky. Pekka once again respawning. Israel gonna finish off these units. He is going for the Dillo first instead of the healing units. I would really advise against that. Really go straight, unless the attacking units are really posing an immediate threat to you. Go straight for the healing units. They are going to be, you know, delaying the kill for a really long time. So if you go straight for the healing units, you will be able to take down that group much faster overall than if you went straight for the attacking unit first, which the healing unit is healing up. Now, Israel with a fat queue of goalies, a completely full 5 build queue full of goalies. 3 are still being made. One does get finished. He does still have 2 in the build, but Pekka has very good control of mid. This right factory is neutralized, but Israel's goalies are just slowly coming over here. It is going straight for this outpost for the power station, so it will be under direct fire from the units that are over here for Pekka. But actually, Israel is here to support. Almost takes down Pekka again, but there are more goalies, and Israel brings the damaged goalie behind the other ones, very much like Blinkstalker Micro. Does bring it behind and does make it last that much longer. And now these 3 goalies are still here. Israel chasing Pekka away with his attack, but Pekka was actually at full life there when he retreated. He probably should have shot back at Israel. And Israel, non-stop with the goalies, is still sending them, is bringing this healing unit will really be a great support. But the goalies kept going, and Pekka was free to bomb them and kill them. So now the goalies that were here before, if it were me, I probably would have picked up the goalies once they reached this outpost, the middle outpost, and set them to hold position, just so they were there to support my army that I would have brought over eventually. Israelite really low on life, but Pekka does not decide to shoot back at him. I guess he is, since he's a bomber or something, or, I guess since he's been taken down so many times, he is a little bit timid to face Israelite in the air, but except that time, he does finish off Israel that time. And now, he does have a small opening because Israel is a Neo. The respawn won't be that long, but he does have a small opening to take out as many units as he can. He's going straight for this Goliath and Bertha, but gets killed, stays there way too long, and does get killed by that. I think it was the Goliath, but it might have also been the passing creeps. Now, Israelite pushing with Seekers only right now. That is an interesting choice with a Neo, but it's just fine if there aren't that many units in the area that you're going to push toward, which is this area right here, the middle. And Israel does drop a Goliath right here. Now Pekka is forced to deal with that, and Israel now will have a little bit of time. It does take down a long time to take down a Goliath, but Pekka fortunately was shooting it from the back, or hitting it from the back with his melee. And now Pekka trying to bomb these Seekers. It will be hard for Pekka to deal with these Seekers. That actually was a good plan there. Pekka will have to deal with these incoming Seekers, but there were only 2. If there were more, it would have taken a little longer for Pekka to deal with them, but now he did drop those Longhorns, so they will handle them instead, and he has quite a lot of Berthas over here, and Israel is well, it's kind of reset back to the initial situation, but instead of Longhorns instead of the Dillos surrounding this area, it is Goliaths because we are later in the game. But Pekka trying to bomb. Oh God! Okay, he does get away. I mean, he's kind of repeating the same thing over and over, almost getting away, but, you know, bombing for too long. He really has to start doing moving bombing runs. Moving bombing runs is more, I guess it's kind of a higher level thing, but, you know, it's not that bad. I don't really play bomber that much personally, but all you really have to do is just, you know, fly over. Holding right click does get taken down before he gets back to that outpost. And again, Israelite has another opening, but once again, if you see this, Pekka has a lot of units firing into here. There are 4 units to contest this Goliath. Pekka or Israel bringing Berthas to fire in, but they are getting shot by these other Berthas. Maybe Israel should place them a little bit further back, somewhere over here where this Archie won't hit it. And those, and he does have to reposition these Berthas. He can grab 2 at a time. Was that 2 at a time? No way. I don't think that was, but he does put them all by themselves, and he really should just ignore this Goliath and just have, you know, dropped it and gone straight for the EMP to hit Pekka in the back or something like that. But this Goliath is also under fire from Pekka. Did not kill it. Israelite really needs to start saving his units when he drops them, or, you know, or use them to more of an advantage than he currently is. Israel almost going down there, gets followed, but doesn't get finished by Pekka, and Pekka gonna finish off this Goliath. Does get him, and now high-level creeps are walking in to this middle outpost, but the 4th one doesn't. These creeps are still a little confused as to where they should go. They do that whole split up at the beginning, like split up when they're spawned thing. So when they're spawned is actually, you know, that's when their walking path is decided. So that's why they kind of act kind of weird when, you know, for example, there was one more bulb up, but that 3rd one didn't go in, because at the time it was spawned, it wasn't planning to go there. So that's just how the AI works. Right now, Pekka was able to retake this. It keeps getting, middle keeps getting, you know, the hands keep switching. But Israelite with a big mass of Goliaths, he has 4 out on the field. He does have this outpost not really surrounded, but he has units on both sides. He really needs to start concentrating his units in, you know, not really concentrating in the one spot, but concentrating them toward one purpose, because he is distracting with Goliaths. He was distracting with the Goliath before, which really is an overcommitment of credits. You really need to start, you know, you really need to use cheaper units. Like, he does have Dillos. He probably should use that instead of Goliaths right now if he wants to maybe do a little harassment or do a little bit of attack, because if you're trying to use a Goliath to attack and you know, attack in a method of you know, using that as a distraction to keep your enemy away for a little bit so you have an opportunity to maybe take their outpost or something like that, you have to use a lot less units, or a lot less valuable units than a Goliath that will probably all get destroyed in a matter of seconds longer than an Armadillo. But, you know, this game is just going back and forth. If I were Israelite right now, I would make more Berthas, which he is, and I would spread them out. I would really try to do a better arty war, you know, artillery war. At this point, it's a Bertha war against Pekka. He really, you know, he just keeps positioning them in the same spot, and all Pekka has to do is pivot. And will Pekka notice that? Has he noticed that those Berthas are there firing in over here? He has not really. If he has noticed, he hasn't taken action yet. Another Goliath right here, you know, right in front of all of Pekka's units, and I again, that is just really not doing very much. It is going to get killed very quickly at the gain of maybe killing a Longhorn, and that definitely isn't worth it. This artillery sitting here is like 10 times more effective than just dropping a random Goliath right in the middle, and he, you know, Israelite really needs to. If he needs to dedicate his Goliaths to pushing or reinforcing his Berthas, rather than, he does take pekapeka down there, but rather than just dropping them, I guess he's trying to use them as, I'm not really sure if he's trying to use them as distractions. I think he might be trying to just pick it up, get as much damage as he can in, and then leave. But, you know, when there are so many defending units in an area, oh, and creeps have been able to wander all the way over here, skipping this outpost and going all the way to this bottom right hand corner, and now it's just an extra nuisance for Israelite to have to deal with. Has he put down anything to defend there? No, no, no. Were those wandering creeps? I might have missed that. Pekka probably dropped those actually, but it's just something an extra thing that Israel had to deal with. Oh, and Pekka does get killed by this Goliath. He really shouldn't have been slashing there. He really should have just been bombing, since his outpost is right there. He was in no danger to do any, he was in no danger when he was bombing. I guess maybe since he's been getting killed during his bombing runs, or I guess bombing, sessions, he's probably been a little bit more nervous to do bombing. Oh, and this infantry has gotten stuck. This infantry has gotten stuck, and all these bulbs are getting shot down. Israelite does cloak away to heal that Goliath. I'm not really sure why, but he did cloak away. I guess he felt like he might have been threatened a little bit by Pekka. And Pekka doing okay. Now he is bombing, but this outpost is not under his control. They really need to start dropping more infantry to be able to take these outposts. Infantry SAM is pretty cheap, and it is quite effective if an outpost is not really defended. These creeps, and maybe even start to stack creeps, because at that point there will be a good influx of creeps, and Pekka does go down to Israelite. Another concentrated fire above those Longhorn that he was dropping, and now Israelite taking this shot, an opening to EMP these Longhorns, dancing around them very well, not getting under fire, under their fire at all. Well, maybe a little bit, but pretty negligible. And now Israelite once again bringing up his Berthas, but he really, this outpost is kind of vacated. He really should start bringing up actual, army fighting units like this Goliath. But he's only bringing up one at a time, maybe two at a time sometimes. And but that actually forced Pekka to evacuate the Berthas. Okay. And now Israel has neutralized this outpost. Will he be able to take it? Those Longhorn are firing at these level 4 creeps, but not really. But okay. And they are firing, taking out some bulbs. And again, Israelite just leaving a stray Goliath. He really needs to stop doing that. It's just not, okay. He is bringing Berthas out here, but he really needs to support them. You really need a good mix of ground attacking units and anti-air units when you're having an artillery clump. Pekka bringing 2 Longhorn to the front door, and Israelite does respond right now, but he doesn't have anything in his queue to block, and he does not. Does decide to save that moneymaker, but he isn't really going to be able to save it. But he really should just focus down Pekka, or focus down these tanks. He really needs to put something down to block, and he's instead putting a Bertha to shoot into the area. He really needs to body block, get in front of those Longhorn and body block. But he is shooting from the back, which is pretty effective. I guess that's the next alternative effective thing to do. And he does drop a Goliath, doesn't actually block the front door, but that Bertha that he made that was in queue is still sitting over there, blocking, or not blocking, but defending the front door. There are level 4 creeps shooting into this outpost for Pekka. Pekka is now concentrating, forming a wall on his fort, but I guess he's doing that just because he knows Overtime 2 is about to hit, and when Overtime 2 hits, they will start to bleed, but I don't know. Well, he probably has taken enough health off of Israel to be able to survive just a full bleed out, but he isn't doing any more Longhorn drops, and if I were him, I kind of would. I mean, that was really, really effective there, and Israelite, Pekka doesn't know right now, but Israelite only has 1 Goliath, and Pekka, again, staying out, bombing, or whatever he was doing, staying out for a really long time. I think he was actually getting hit by those Berthas, actually. But now this army has been very thin, this defensive line, and Israel bringing a Bertha. I'm not really sure what this is going to do. He is putting it over here. And this is out of... no. Pekka does see it, so all Pekka has to do... no, Pekka. Pekka, just put a Longhorn or something right next to it. It's not even firing. It's not even firing. Just put a Longhorn, or even a zipper would eventually kill it. Or just leave it alone. It's not firing in. It's not doing him any harm, so he really didn't need to dedicate all that time, and in that time, Israel has been able to clear out a lot more units over here. But again, losing mid. I'm not really sure how this middle outpost is getting neutralized so many times over and over and over. I guess it's just simply a lack of defense and a lack of concentrated units dedicated to, you know, putting in damage in the area. But, I mean, now, at this point, Israel has a much better foothold on mid. But the thing is, look at this. There is only one Goliath sitting over here as, you know, defensive unit. You know, a defensive ground unit. Second one going down, sending them on attack. There is nothing to defend these artillery except for Israelites' presence. And more Longhorn do go down. There are 4. Israel has not gotten to pull off an EMP, and he is repositioning his Berthas to be able to try to handle this. But now Pekka is just dropping a lot more in this area. And those 2 Goliaths that are sent over here will get shut down by this fat wall of Longhorns sitting in front of, you know, and sitting in front of Pekka's fort. And right now, Israel is still under control of mid. There are 2 bulbs down, but the thing is, he has repositioned his Berthas. Oh, and takes down Pekka again. Pekka staying out for way too long, too often in this game. And now Israel positioning his Bertha way too close. Okay, that's better. But yeah, Israel has been, or Pekka has been just staying in the air for way too long under Israel's fire. And by now, I mean, I would hope that he would have tried to catch on. And Israel positioning these Berthas really unnecessary. He really just needs to drop some infantry or drop some Berthas. You know, he just a quick scout on that outpost would have revealed that it's really undefended. And he could have used the time that Pekka was down, that, you know, when he was during that respawn time, he really could have used that to just completely take this outpost. There was only that one Longhorn there. A quick scout would have revealed an opportunity, and he really needs to move this Goliath right in front of his Berthas. He really needs to use the, you know, ground defending tank, you know, tank class units to defend here, and he's not really doing that. But he is cloaked and drops the Goliath as if the Longhorn were still there, but they were picked up and moved. But this outpost is neutral. He is producing soldiers right now in build queue, and Pekka trying to make a nice clump here, trying to make a defensive unit there, or a defensive a defense area, so kind of more like a you shall not pass kind of area. But Israel gonna take that fort. He's gonna take that factory. Pekka actually trying to dogfight Israel over this outpost. At first was not claimed, but now it is. But he is. Oh, and Israel, great positioning with that Bertha. It will fire into this clump of units over here. Or not. Okay, or it is. Okay, finally does have that delay, but now Pekka bringing to Armadillo. I would have expected Longhorn. It would have been much more effective, but now Israelite is coming back to respond, but Pekka is getting a good amount of damage in here, and he is able to Manta Strike in. Now Israel only has about 1/3 of his life left, and Pekka has like 2/3 left. Pekka does get back to his outpost, and Israel really needs to push it now. Overtime 2 has hit, so he really needs to take at least one more outpost, or start to drop right on the front door. But the thing is, Pekka has that nice wall. If Israelite forces in, he will be able to create a small hole with his drop, but it's going to be really short-lived, as there are so many, you know, there are so many Longhorn there that whatever he drops will die very quickly. Pekka, with that quick Longhorn drop, it will, you know, against 2 Goliaths, these Longhorn will die very quickly. Pekka is doing quick bombing, but he's not able to finish off any of the units in that area. But now Israelite does take a Goliath. He unknowingly goes to the area that Pekka is. And now drops a Goliath over here in the face of 2 Longhorn, and uses it. No, does not use it as a meat shield, but is just trying to shoot, just putting, you know, whatever damage he can in. Almost taking down Pekka again. Pekka really needs to stop and heal. He really needs to stop and heal. He's getting killed so much just because he's not, you know, going back to his outposts and healing the way he should. That Goliath finally gets killed along with the defending Dillo, and Israelite almost goes down as well. But now, I mean, it's so close. And even though Israel has two more outposts than Pekka does, 2? Is it 2? 3. He has 3 more outposts than Pekka does. It just, you know, it's his life is so low that I don't think if the bleed out just continues right now with no additional fort damage, I do not think he will be able to take this. He's been pretty much winning the majority of the match. He is, you know, obviously he has map control now, and he is trying to take down a Longhorn to be able to hit the fort, but Pekka is here to respond. He really needs to block, but Israel gets the EMP off, but Pekka does cliff walk off to be able to lift off. He does get another block in, so he is not in danger anymore, you know, from getting attacked, but the life right now is very, very close, and Israelite again drops a Goliath. I do not think that'll be able to take, but this outpost is neutral, and now Pekka is going to start to bleed out much faster. I mean, significantly faster actually than he used to. The fort health right now is really close, and Pekka is making a very fine wall, but he really needs to do another fort drop to be able to, you know, ensure a victory in this game, and he's not doing that right now. There are a lot of Longhorns sitting over here. He really needs to start bringing them over, and there is not that much blocking Israelite's fort. He really needs to start bringing something over. Come on, Pekka, grab something. Oh god. Okay, now I mean he has one Longhorn now, but he can carry two. He's a level 15 bomber, so he really should grab another one and go like way the hell around to be able to get to, you know, to Israelite's fort without being noticed. And now he has zero. You know, he only has the one outpost under his control. Because this last stand outpost has been neutralized, he is trying to take it back, but now at this point the life is very close, and he is bleeding much faster than Israelite. Israelite really close, and this goalie is really on his face. Israelite is hitting the fort from the side, and Pekka just okay. Israel does go down. Pekka, grab Longhorn. It's too close. Stop trying to get outposts. Grab Longhorns. You have them already built. Don't build anymore. Go grab Longhorns and drop right on the fort. Drop on the fort. Drop on the fort. Drop on the fort. Drop on the fort. Oh no. Oh, it is so close. It's already overtime 3 minutes and 37 seconds in, and we're about 15 to 10 seconds away from Pekka losing life. He's trying to retake this outpost, but it's not going to change the rate that he's going to bleed at to a significant enough rate, and he does go down. Israelite does take this 1v1 ranked match. Pekka really, that was unnecessarily close in my opinion. Okay. Whew. Very stressful, very stressful. Okay, this is RUI, and that's game. See you next time.